The Abrahamic Covenant. What is it? Why do we need it? And what does it have to do with you? Well, to answer those questions, we have to go back about 2,000 years before Abraham was born to the very first people on earth. You see, Adam was actually the very first of a long line of prophets to make a covenant with God that would later be known as the Abrahamic Covenant. What was this covenant? In the simplest terms, it was God's promise to his children that he would provide a way for them to be exalted with him. In latter days, these blessings and promises are happening in baptismal fonts and temples as God's children make covenants with him. But wait, let's back up a minute. If God made this covenant with Adam and then with other prophets, including Noah, Enoch, Moses, and more, why is it called the Abrahamic Covenant? Well, when God made this same covenant with Abraham, he specified some special promises. These promises can be thought of as the 3 Ps. Posterity. Abraham was promised that anyone who made covenants with God would be considered part of his family. Priesthood and gospel. The blessings of the priesthood and gospel would be spread to all the earth through Abraham's family. And promised land. Abraham would receive an inheritance of special land. Posterity, priesthood, and a promised land? That sounds great for Abraham, but what does it have to do with you? A whole lot. The 3 Ps are promised to everyone who makes covenants with God through proper priesthood authority, whether they were born into the church or not. If you've made covenants with God, you are promised that if you're faithful to your covenants, you can have eternal posterity. You're also promised that as part of Abraham's family, you'll have access to the blessings of the priesthood and gospel and get to spread those blessings to others. Last of all, you're promised that if you stay faithful, you'll be able to enjoy your own eternal promised land, a place with God in the celestial kingdom. But wait, there's more. Your covenant blesses you with a 4th P, God's persistent grace. Let's talk more about this because it's really important. Once you enter into a covenant with God, he has hesed for you. What in the world is hesed? In the scriptures, the Hebrew word hesed is often interpreted as loving kindness or mercy. But it means so much more. What it really means is covenantal love and mercy. That means God has a special degree of love and mercy for those who enter into covenants with him. Now, of course, God loves all of his children. But once you make a covenant with him, once you dedicate yourself to him, it's almost like a marriage. The two of you have created a special bond that is different than the relationship those outside of the covenant have with him. Dr. Carrie Muhlstein described it this way. That is a kind of love and mercy only available to those who are in a covenant with God. And what it means is he will never, ever stop working with you and never give up on you. So how does God's hesed benefit you? Let's learn from the story of the Israelites. When they left Egypt, the Israelites made covenants with God. However, they didn't do a good job of keeping their part of the covenant. They worshipped a golden idol. They criticized God's prophet. They lacked faith. They disobeyed God. But no matter what they did, God continued to work with them, helping them come back to him over and over and over again. Why? Because of his covenant promise to help them return home to him, because of his persistent grace. No matter how unfaithful they were to him, God was always faithful to his covenant because he had hesed for them. Now, what does that mean for you? That means that if you mess up, if you break a commandment, if you don't live the gospel fully, or even if you turn away completely, it will hurt God that you've broken your end of the covenant, but he also won't break his end. His grace is persistent. It will take work on your part to change, but God will help you every step of the way. That is why the Abrahamic Covenant is so important for you and me. It's the promise of posterity, priesthood, a promised land, and it's the hope that with God's persistent grace, we will one day become like him. And that's the story of the Abrahamic Covenant.